Dwight Howard accused of forcing himself on a man. Doesn't deny the encounter, denies the nature of the encounter.
This nigga be sneak rubbing on niggas. I've been saying this shit since 2010.
When we pulled up the video or pictures of him touching people, I knew it.
I didn't really follow Dwight Howard's history all that carefully, but he's being sued by a gay man.
Over the past few days, social media has been on fire after claims involving LeBron James and Dwight Howard being in a gay affair began circulating online.
And you've done stuff where, you know, the market is like, is Dwight Howard straight? Does Dwight Howard, you know, when you do the gay stuff, and it's like...
What made it even more shocking is who exposed these claims. Dillon Brooks, a role player, many say, finally outplayed the face of the league. After a heated matchup where Brooks was thrown out and LeBron got a whistle that many believe should have gone the other way, tensions spilled beyond the court. Now, Brooks' comments are being dissected online, with fans claiming they connect the dots to long-standing rumors that suddenly refuse to fade. LeBron James and Dwight Howard are having a gay affair.
Are you gay, bro?
Is this what you want to talk about?
No, I don't want to talk about that, bro.
So then why are we talking about it?
Let's backtrack to December 14th during the fourth quarter against the Lakers. Game on the line, Suns down late. Dillon Brooks shakes free on the wing, rises up, and buries a go-ahead three right over LeBron James. As you guys probably know, that's already a big enough moment. But on the replay, LeBron's hand is all over Brooks' shooting arm. Any other night, any other player, that's 3 shots or an and one. This time, nothing. Play on. Before Brooks can even process it, the next dead ball turns into chaos. He bumps LeBron on the way back up the court, jaws at the refs, and in seconds the tech comes out. Then the second. Dillon Brooks, the guy who just hit the biggest shot of the night, is walking to the tunnel while LeBron is still standing at the free throw line like nothing happened. And this is where the story stops being about one bad whistle and starts being about how the league treats its king versus its villain. So look, this wasn't some regular player and ref get heated moment.
Blocked away by Dillon. Triggers a break. Booker pulls for three. Won't get it. Offensive rebound. Back to Brooks. Pull for three. Boom!
Guys argue calls every single night. What makes this different is that it fit a pattern Brooks has been calling out for years.
Off-balance heave. From that angle, he was able to kiss it off the glass.
Stars get protection, and everybody else is told to live with it. As you guys probably know, this isn't the first time he's poked at that hierarchy. Back in Memphis, he literally said out loud what most role players only think.
There are some people, the Lakers are making that run, they get it to 14. You and LeBron have that exchange. There are people out there that say, maybe you shouldn't do that with one of the better players in the game. What were you thinking?
I don't care. He's old. You know what I mean? I was waiting for that. I was expecting him to do that game 4, game 5. He wanted to say something when I got my 4th foul. He should have been saying that earlier on.
He wasn't just talking about age. He was talking about LeBron being treated like the league's untouchable top dog, while guys like him get labeled problems the second they push back.
I poke bears. I don't respect no one until they come and give me 40.
That line turned Brooks into a meme, and when the Lakers sent the Grizzlies home, everybody clowned him like the loudmouth who couldn't back it up. But that's only half the story. That playoff run cooked his reputation.
I'm a competitor, man. I don't really like the smiling and the giggling and all that. He likes people that go to bow down. I don't bow down, so that either entices him or it aggravates him.
Memphis refused to bring him back. Every insider headline framed it as the Grizz moving on from his antics. The narrative wasn't, this was a bad series. It was, this guy is unplayable if you want to win. And now everyone's asking, if he was really that toxic.
I don't want to talk much for him. Tomorrow's going to be a great game. I'm not here for the bullshit. I'm ready to play, and that's it. I appreciate it.
Why did 2 completely different teams end up building their entire edge around him? Before this Suns chapter, you guys probably remember the Houston reset. On paper, Houston made no sense. Young roster, no structure, no veteran stars to hide behind. This looked like exile, but that's exactly where the story turned. Ime Udoka wanted a culture shock. He didn't need a friendly locker room. He needed someone other teams hated playing against.
Will be a good view of it. I mean, Austin, I don't think it's a flagrant foul.
Enter Dillon Brooks and Fred VanVleet. Fred admitted he couldn't stand Brooks in Memphis, but once they shared a locker room, he called him exactly what that team needed. A guy who would go too far so someone else could pull him back and still keep the edge.
I want to shout out like Dillon Brooks, because he kind of was in a weird situation when Memphis got rid of him. And people kind of were not high on him because of his over-aggressive play. And now you're kind of seeing what's going on in Memphis and how they kind of needed that from him. And now he's on a team where he's embraced more and the team has like taken on that entire personality, but they don't like do the most. They just really just lock up and play really hard. And I think that's the environment Dillon Brooks needed, and he's been doing like really well.
Suddenly, the same antics that were destroying Memphis became heart of the defense in Houston. Houston jumped from total afterthought to a team nobody wanted to see on a random Tuesday because they knew it was going to be a fight every possession.
Dillon Brooks. Curry is tripped. Dillon Brooks got up and hit Steph, and Draymond is the big brother. Clean up everything.
Well, Dillon Brooks just tried to take the ball from Steph. Now Dillon Brooks and Steph are having words.
And Brooks didn't just yell. He defended, hit big shots, and took the toughest assignment every night.
With a move by Brooks, it was deflected. It's loose. Hold on, hold on, hold on!
So if he's really just a clown who hurts winning, explain why the losing stopped when he arrived and the excuses started when he left. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable for the people who said he was finished. When Phoenix got involved, most people thought he was a throw-in.
Trying to power his way inside, able to.
The big headline was the Kevin Durant deal, the idea of blowing up a super team and retooling around younger pieces. As you guys probably know, people assumed Phoenix would crater without KD or that they'd just be Devin Booker and vibes. Instead, they quietly turned into a legit playoff team with Brooks as their second most reliable scorer. This season, Dillon is putting up the best numbers of his career. Over 21 a night, efficient shooting, and he's doing it while taking the toughest defensive matchups and living with the boos in every arena. The same Draymond Green who once called him an idiot.
I'm trying to figure out why they like you in Memphis. Or do they like you in Memphis? I'm not sure your teammates like you, but I can tell you why they like me over there. When you contribute in the way that I have contributed to 4 championships, they tend to like you. So next time you speak up on me, you should do some fact checking. Next time you speak up on me, you should do some soul searching.
And said the Grizzlies would never win relying on him is watching Brooks outscore him, out-impact him, and outlast him in relevance. The roles flipped, and nobody expected it to look this clean. So when that Lakers game happens and he hits a clutch shot, eats clear contact with no whistle, then gets tossed for reacting.
I don't want to talk much more. Tomorrow's going to be a great game. I'm not here for the bull. I'm ready to play, and that's it. I appreciate it. Thanks.
It doesn't feel like an isolated meltdown. It feels like the final perfect example of the gap he's been pointing at since Memphis. Some guys are allowed to explode, complain, even swing at teammates and still get, that's just how he is, while others get shipped out, labeled villains, and told they're lucky just to be in the league. Here's the part that really stings if you've been paying attention. As you guys probably know, Draymond built an entire Hall of Fame case doing a lot of the same emotional heavy lifting, barking at refs, crossing lines, pumping up his team by any means.
Has he already secured his spot as a Hall of Famer?
I think yes. I think when you talk about Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, you going into the Hall of Fame, Draymond Green is going in there with them. Last time I checked, basketball is a team sport. Last time I checked, resumes do matter. Everything isn't about numbers. I'm not comparing him to Dennis Rodman because he was no Dennis Rodman.
The league framed it as passion because it came attached to Steph, Klay, and 4 rings. Brooks played the same emotional role without the rings, and the exact same behavior became evidence that he was a problem. When he clashed with Draymond in the media, the world treated it like a joke. A podcast bit, know your place energy. But now, years later, look at who's actually trending up. Draymond's suspensions keep getting longer. The Warriors look more like a past their prime rock band than a dynasty. Meanwhile, Brooks went from unplayable to the nickname nobody wants but everybody ends up needing. The guy who does the dirty work and never bows, even to the league's biggest name. So, when Brooks walks off after that LeBron sequence, you can call it losing his cool if you want. But if you zoom out, it looks more like a guy who's seen the same movie too many times.
Weathering the storm of the emotion, the energy, and the crowd. Look at AD! Get it out of here!
Well, AD is like Jaren Jackson.
He hits the big shot, takes the hit, gets no respect from the whistle, and knows exactly how the narrative will be spun if he just sits back down. Emotional, doing too much, hurting his team again. The walk-off is him refusing to stay on stage for a script he didn't write. Now everyone's asking the question nobody wanted to touch when he was missing shots in Memphis. Was Dillon Brooks actually the problem, or was he just the only one loud enough to expose how different the rules are when you're not one of the league's chosen? Because if the most hated player can bounce from exile to Houston's cultural reset to Phoenix's unexpected playoff push, keep hitting big shots, keep taking the hardest assignments, and still get less benefit of the doubt than the superstar who fouled him on the biggest play of the night, then maybe the villain label says less about him and more about how protected the crown really is.